we'll get started. So when you're ready and if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes if that feels okay. And just beginning with an intention. So maybe making an intention for your practice, and maybe the intention to be kind, or any intention that comes to you. And just beginning now to rest with the breath. So dropping your attention in and down, almost like we're slipping into our skin, settling into the body, settling into the moment. And just beginning to be with our breath now. Feeling the belly moving. What does it feel like to breathe? So what does it feel like to breathe? Soften the belly if you like. Soften the belly. And soften the shoulders. Soften the forehead. And around the eyes and between the eyes. And just soften the right jaw. Soften the left jaw. And just letting the whole front of the body be soft. And letting the back of the body be strong, like a mountain. And just being with the breath from this space, from this place. And just noticing when you're thinking, so when you're in thought, and we can label that I'm thinking. And we can notice, are we judging our thoughts, or are we judging our thinking mind? And just bringing kindness and love and compassion to our minds and bringing our focus back to our breath, to the moment. Just being, just breathing, letting everything else go. Just being, just breathing, letting everything else go. We can bring this quality of equanimity into our posture or balance. So a soft belly and soft shoulders and soft face and restfulness. And then a strong, solid back, like a mountain. So we are rested and relaxed, and we're also awake and aware. And we're breathing from this place, from this space of relaxed, rested awakeness. Again, just watching the mind, watching the moving mind, and having kindness for that moving mind, and that we never judge it, and we always relate to it, almost like a little toddler who we loved. So we can notice it moving and we don't judge what it gets up to because we know that's just the nature of the monkey mind. But we gently grab it by the hand and bring it back to presence. So we bring ourselves home. Through our practice, we can establish love as our home, as Sharon Salzberg says, establishing love as our home. So breathing and being with a soft belly and a solid back and an open heart. Breathing and being soft belly and a strong back and an open heart. Letting the body breathe. And letting the body breathe itself. Nothing else to do and nowhere else to be. Feeling the breath move through the body like the waves in the ocean. Letting the body be, letting the body breathe. And again, just noticing when we're moved into thinking and we bring this loving, gentle compassion to the thinking mind and to the thoughts themselves. There's no badness in our minds or our thoughts. It's just nature actually expressing itself, the internal ecosystem. So we just notice with kindness and then we return with kindness. Coming home, home to love, home to ourselves, home to restedness, home to peace. Breathing. And be. And we're just going to expand the awareness now so that we are not just with the breath, but with the whole of our being, our body and our mind and our heart. And we check in and we ask ourselves with a hand on our heart and a hand on our belly, what is the truth of my being now? What is the truth of how I feel? How do I truly feel in my body and in my mind and in my heart, and not what I would tell someone else I feel, or not how I wish I felt or I think I should feel, but what is the actual truth? And then we listen. So Mark Nepo says to listen is to lean in softly with the willingness to be changed by what we hear. So leaning in softly to ourselves, to our bodies, to our minds, to our hearts. Leaning in softly to our bodies, to our minds, and to our hearts, and just listening. What are they telling us? And just noticing. I'm also just noticing any stories you might be telling ourselves, particularly any negative stories or any kind of stories of judgment or blaming ourselves or catastrophizing, and just noticing, am I telling myself any stories about my experience, about my body, about my life, about how my mind is, or even how life is right now? Just noticing that. And we can ask ourselves and inquire within that, even for the length of the meditation, can we let go of any stories we are telling ourselves. Who am I when I no longer believe these stories I tell myself about myself? Who am I without the story? Who am I when I drop the story? And how am I when I let all of the stories go and instead just actually encounter myself, the rawness of myself, and the aliveness of myself, exactly as I am? And I encounter this being, this life that's here, and just meet this being with love and with kindness and with care. Can I open up and allow what is here just to be? This is how it is right now. This is how it is to have this body today, to have this life today, to have this heart today, to have these relationships I have or these problems I have. This is how it is right now. This is part of life. I'm not the only one who feels like this. So many others are going through something very similar to me, feeling just like I am. And however we're feeling, whatever situation we're in, it will change. It's the one thing we can count on. This is how it is, and it will pass. It will change. We can be sure of life's impermanence. Everything is moving, everything is changing. You will feel different soon, and life will look different soon also. So we're meeting ourselves or encountering ourselves exactly as we are, letting go of the stories, and also encountering ourselves with this quality of equanimity, knowing that whatever we're experiencing will change and move. It's not forever. And from this place and space of acceptance and equanimity, we can practice immersing ourselves in loving compassion. And we can imagine we're beside a lake, a golden lake of loving compassion, that it's filled with pure loving compassion. And we can imagine a ladle, and we can imagine ladling this golden compassion and pouring it over the top of our head so that we begin to bathe ourselves in this golden, loving, compassionate presence. Imagine encompassing and surrounding our mind, our poor monkey minds, in this golden compassion, ladling compassion over our tired monkey minds, allowing our mind to melt into this loving compassion, soothing ourselves with loving compassion, and ladling and bathing ourselves in this golden compassion, ladling it over our hearts and into our hearts, filling our hearts up with this golden, soothing compassion. And giving any parts that hurt in the heart or the parts that feel the worst extra compassion, extra care, encasing any hurt parts in liquid, loving care. We can just take a breath. We could even imagine beginning to step into this lake of golden liquid compassion and immerse ourselves in the lake and feel ourselves totally immersed and surrounded and encased in compassionate, loving presence. We can imagine lying back into the lake and floating in this lake of compassion and love. Imagine it reaching every cell of our body, every corner and recess of our heart, and being totally immersed in loving compassion. Imagine ourselves almost melting in any discomfort or any pain or hurt, melting into liquid, golden, pure, compassionate presence and energy. And I'm just breathing it in and out now. So breathing in compassionate presence and breathing out compassionate presence. In for me, out for the world. Breathing compassionate presence into my mind, into my heart, into every cell of my body, into any pain or hurt that I feel, encasing and encompassing ourselves in golden liquid nectar of compassionate presence, almost like we become loving, compassionate presence. There's nothing left, just loving, compassionate presence, breathing it in for ourselves and out for others, in for ourselves, out for the world, in for ourselves, and out for the world. And now we can let that practice go and we can tune back into ourselves, and again just this kind check-in, how am I? And again this encountering or this meeting of the aliveness that is here with this loving compassionate presence. We meet whatever is here with acceptance. We trust and know whatever is here belongs. It's okay to feel. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we'll finish our practice. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. Okay. So might just check in with you and just see how that was. And we're just kind of exploring this new practice with the lake of compassion. You suggested that, Lindsay, so that's why I brought that in today.